I guess the real question is, what would you do if alien roach, termite, bug people came and enslaved us? Kind of? But Captive State is one that was barely on my radar until about a month ago. I'll be honest, I thought it was... The name sounds like something like Mass Effect Captive State. It sounds like it's based off a video game. No, it's just a low-budget sci-fi movie, kind of? I mean, it is a science fiction movie. The alien bug creatures are involved. But if you were to actually tell me what this movie genre-wise really is, it's less a science fiction government thriller movie and more of a government overthrowing the government thriller, upsetting the establishment and getting us back to the way things used to be. That just happens to have bug aliens in it. That's the way. Or essentially, these aliens came to Earth. Takes place 9 years after that happened. After a peace treaty was broken. It's focusing kind of on this kid named Gabriel, who in the beginning we see his parents get like vaporized. These aliens, it's never specified exactly what the hell this ability they have is. Either a weapons ability or a sonic, like, boom ability. They can literally just vaporize you, turn into powdered blood. Basically, just like, gone. So his parents just get axed like that. And then they're in the backseat of the car, and an alien, like, gets in front of their face, and then they're allowed to live. Which when we get a good look at one of the aliens pretty early on. Design-wise, there's only so many concepts you can go with an alien, but there's so many because there are so many. It's a weird sentence to say. There are so many designs that you can go with, but there's only so many designs you can go with without starting to do some levels of repetition. So I will say this. This was a unique concept for these aliens. I thought at first they were like a collective hive of teeny little creatures encompassing one central creature. So they seem to be able to morph into spiky forms and then have these more smooth cylindrical forms. They crawl around on all fours, kind of like a bug would if it had 4 legs or 2 arms and 2 legs. But it turns out that these aren't. That's not the case. We see them wearing is suits. They can't apparently handle our atmosphere very well. Like, gee, how many other aliens? I don't know. Take War of the World, Evolution, hell, Man of Steel. And yeah, apparently they do have faces, kind of. And you see one suffocating. I'm not getting the true idea of what these are supposed to be. They call them roaches in the movie. But they're really not very, I mean, they're kind of, because their ships look like dirt over a comb, like a honeycomb. So it does look kind of like a hive, but then you get these bug-like drones they have that are encased in metal and can fly, but have these suckers. I'm really not getting the designs standpoint. They're humanoid, too. It's not like they're 6 legs, wings, and all that. No, they're humanoid in shape, but very not humanoid and everything else. So I'm not quite getting the concept of these aliens, let alone how we learn to translate their language. So I don't know. And then they give you brief glimpses into the tech they have. Like for instance, every human, or just nearly every human, the terrorists don't have them, or the people who are off the grid don't have them. Every human essentially has a little implant, which is this little weird bug larva that goes click. And then there is apparently a like explosive or some sort of sealant gel they have, I guess. I can't remember exactly what it is. They use it as explosive, but it's also used to separate like people who go to meet them on their terms from basically they don't like our smell, so they explained that briefly. And it's basically, once it's armed, it becomes like a chameleon. It literally just blends into the surroundings. So you get hints of their technology and where they've kind of come from, but I'll be honest, despite the vaporization kind of thing, I don't see how these aliens would have overtaken us. Because literally one-on-one, this thing that can turn into this spiky mass that could theoretically pierce something was beaten by one guy who turned out to be a drag queen in a different part of the movie, a former drag queen, ripped off this thing's mask and suffocated it. How the hell do we lose these things? Because, little point of fact, because they're not what I thought they were. They're not a mass of teeny creatures that can move around and change form and shape. So, I'm guessing a bullet to the head would have worked just as well. Which we have plenty of those. We also have these things called missiles, incendiary rounds, grenades, atomic weaponry. Hell, screw atomic bombs. We have hydrogen bombs. We have the Tsar, for God's sake, in Russia. How did these things beat us? Because there's no, like, technology-wise, there's no way that they have force fields, like magnetic fields, or that they can shut down the power. That might be one thing. They can shut our power down. But guess what? We still have many automatic weapons that don't require these things and that don't require electricity, and we can easily mow down a good portion of these guys from a distance without snipe them from a distance, for God's sake. So, and that explains why we can't use our missiles, because they can shut our power down. So I can see that on some level, but in other levels, no, I don't get the hostile takeover. What, hostile? I don't get the takeover of Earth from these aliens very well. This isn't like as bad as Independence Day Resurgence was, and I do enjoy Independence Day, but Independence Day Resurgence isn't good. At least not in my opinion. I can see how we were effed against those aliens. I can see how we'd have severe issues against, like, if xenomorphs started to overrun the world, we could theoretically just nuke them. But you get my point. I can see other aliens in movies how we could be overtaken by them. The Skrulls, for instance. No spoilers of what actually goes on with the Skrulls in Captain Marvel, but in the comics, I can see how they can just infiltrate us and take us over from the inside. I can see that. I could see a war happening with us and these aliens, and there'd be casualties on both sides, but I don't see them ultimately winning. Particularly because while they could shut down our power in a certain area, other individuals can respond to that from other places in the world. So I still argue the missile thing could work. I digress though. Because really, we don't get a lot of the legislators. We don't get a lot of the legislators as they're called in the movie. They just kind of show up a little bit. They're not even the real bad guy. It's the system that's been created from that. And the way that, like, 3 different people who are caught in the middle kind of react to, deal with this. Gabriel, who is the brother of, like, who is the main character, technically. His brother was a freedom fighter and a terrorist against these aliens. And John Goodman, who's a cop, I believe he's a commissioner by the end. In fact, they show the end scene in the trailer. But he's like the next step down, assistant commissioner or something like that. That's what he was. And when the other commissioner basically got let down, had to be let go because it turns out he was colluding, they appointed him commissioner. And we see from both those sides, both those sides of the fence. One who wants to fight, and one who's just trying to live and do, and he even doesn't want to get involved, but he ends up having to get involved. Gabriel, the brother who's not involved at the time, and John Goodman, who's the cop, who's trying to find this Splinter Cell and all these things, and the terrorist number 1. And in my head, I think no, here's the thing. In my head, I called the actual plot twist. Now, when they try to throw you, I'm not going to say what the plot twist is, though. If you really think on it a little bit, just from me saying some certain things, you might be able to get the idea of what it was. But essentially, there is the number 1. Now, the way that the Splinter Cell works is no one interacts with the number 1. Hell, hardly anyone ever interacts with anyone. It's better that way, so no one gets caught. Eventually, they end up taking out someone, and then something gets revealed about another character, so forth and so on. And I will say this. While I didn't, as the movie went on, I'm like, maybe they're not going to go that route. And as something happens, I'm like, I I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to go. And then it did actually end up going that route. I'm like, I really wish it could be surprised, but in my head, I'm like, is this what's going to happen? And sure enough, if you really read between the lines, yeah, that's what happened. Again, no, I'm not going to spoilers, but if there's something that does have a twist, or if it's not, or if it's just something that, if I got like an early screen, like there's not going to be that 23rd screening of, pre-screening of Shazam that I would have loved to have gone to in my area, unfortunately. So I'm not going to do a review for Shazam any earlier. If I somehow get early screenings, you bet I'll do just a non-spoiler review, and then I'll do a spoiler review when it comes out. But, yeah, look, the movie, here's the thing, the movie is not bad by a stretch of the means, but I will say I want to say it's not what I expected, but at the same time, it kind of is. Even for the trailer, I got the idea that it's a fighting against the system, kind of movie. It's revolution, and we're going to take back what's ours kind of movie in that sense. A government that's been overthrown, a world that's been overthrown, and we need to fight back. What I did not expect was our main character. We don't spend a lot of time with this kid, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, we start out with him for a little while. It goes back and forth. Then at one point he's running away from John Goodman, and he's basically, he gets trapped in this, he gets trapped in this, God, like a ticket concession stand or something like that in this old subway. And the little sucker creatures are trying to get him. He puts a collar on, which like blocks his tracker, and he's gone for the next half hour of the film. Easy half hour. Because then we spend the entire time working with, following these terrorists, trying to pull off their job, and I'm like, okay, what? And then when we finally go back to him, I'm like, oh yeah, you're in this movie. I will say this, no acting is bad in this movie. I kind of didn't care about this kid, if I'm going to be honest. And the spoiler that comes with this kid and his relationship to certain people, I'm like, that's a nice sentiment. I still didn't really care that much. I cared more about John Goodman, because he's John Goodman. And Cameron was in there. I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head, but he played Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So, he's in there. So, and yeah, and I keep doing the quotation marks because where he is the main character, he's supposed to be the main character, really it's John Goodman's movie. John Goodman's honestly the one you're following more often, and in my case cared more about than this kid. Not that the kid's a bad actor, it's just, I didn't care. I just didn't care that much. So, ultimately, well, I mean, is this movie bad? God, no. Is it good? It's decent. It's not bad, that's for certain. I try not to do ratings anymore. Would this be on the lower end of my ranking scale? Yeah. Would it be on the, like, don't see it side scale? No, absolutely not. What I would say about this is, it's good. It's very humorous, given the subject matter. It's a little slow, but that's because it's being very intricate on how it's presenting the subject material, which, if done in a different way, could be a very heavy subject material. So, yeah. So, I mean, would I recommend this? If you are interested in a weird government thriller involving aliens, yeah, it felt, you know what it felt like? It felt a little bit like something like Chappie, or District 13, or District 9. Sorry, I was going to say District 13. District 9, or Elysium. And how that really, it felt very lived in, which I actually like that aspect. It definitely felt like, it felt real. So, and the CGI for what I'm guessing is a pretty low budget film, probably only in the $20 to $30 million range, if that, was pretty good. I believed that they were there because of how they were presenting them. So, trailers. This was a weird, because I knew this movie was science fiction on some level, so I figured we'd get some of that. But I also knew that it was a thriller and maybe a little horror aspect, so I was expecting maybe a horror trailer. Well, no, the trailers we got. First off, this is the first time, even though the trailer's been out for a while, I've seen the Artemis Fowl trailer. I didn't read the book, but I'll say I'm interested. Well, John Wick 3, you bet your ass will be there. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, bet your ass I'll be there. Dark Phoenix, the newest trailer for Dark Phoenix, which is a lot better than the original trailer. I didn't think the original trailer was bad, but this is definitely a better trailer. Look, I've been hearing there's problems with that movie and that the screens that have happened, the movie's not good, but I will still give this movie a fair shot. Brightburn, obviously, that's gonna be good. But here's where it gets weird. It's like Best of Enemies, but this is one of those trailers where you get the actors being interviewed about the subject matter, and it looks good, I guess. Hobbs and Shaw, that was last. Yeah, obviously I'll be there. So yeah, that's my final thoughts on Captain State. It was good. I'll even say it was good. It was good. It was watchable. If anyone's interested in seeing it, I would recommend seeing it. Then on Saturday, I'm catching 5 Feet Apart. Let me rephrase the sentence. I'm subjecting myself to 5 Feet Apart so I can bitch at the camera for all your entertainment. That's what I'm doing on Saturday. It's like, why do you see movies you hate? Because if I want to be a credible is not the right word. If I want to be fair as a reviewer, I can't just go see movies I just want to see. I gotta go see sometimes a movie that I don't think I'm gonna like, so I can give my fair, and then maybe I'll be surprised. Like, I'm trying to think of a movie that I saw that I didn't think I was gonna like, and then it turned out I was actually really liked it. Oh, there's gotta be a movie that that's a good question now that I think about it. What was a movie that I didn't think I was gonna like? Then it turned out I really did like it. See, there's been plenty of movies that I thought I was going to like and did not like it whatsoever. Young Adults being the champion of examples for that. Whew, you want to talk about an experience. You want to talk about a bad movie-going experience just because the movie was that bad for us. Movie that I thought I would hate, but it turned out I was going to like. I'd have to really dig deep on that. Whew. That is a good question. I will get back to you guys on another point in time on that one. Anyway, yeah, 5 Feet Apart will be on Saturday. And because, I think it's Jaden the Critic? Is that the one? Is that you, Jaden? Asked, hope to have what I would. I'll catch a matinee, because I can't get finally happened, I can't get student night, discount anymore, so I gotta pay full price now. So I'll do, a matinee of, Wonder Park on Tuesday. It's only like 85 minutes long, so it's short as hell. So that'll be like a quick little one and done. But yeah, 5 Feet Apart's on Saturday. Yay. I'm not looking forward to that one. Who knows? Maybe I'll be astounded, be like, yes, this is amazing. I swear to God, I'm going to get that breakthrough trailer again attached to it. It fits the subject matter. Anyway. I digress. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know the review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, what if, anything I do on this channel. Put in the comments below. Let us know the review of it at some point. There will be a who would win tomorrow. Obviously, the review for 5 Feet Apart. On Saturday, a what if. And hopefully I'm finishing out a what if on, on one of my two long-standing what ifs that have been going on Sunday. I'm hopefully finishing one out. If not, it'll be done in the week of what if. Box office over the weekend. And next week is the what if week. So keep your eyes out for that, folks. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Later.